interviewed you, I later interviewed Andrew Tate several weeks later in Romania, and he said this.
So Ben is a warmonger. Ben has been wrong on basically every single issue you can name. He was with you with the vaccine and every other war. Ben is always calling for other people's young men to go and die in some war. He seems to love it. I don't know if he has short man syndrome, but he's always behind his desk calling about how important it is that big, strong men like me go and die.
I mean, apart from the puerile name calling and stuff, his point there that you're a warmonger, your response?
I mean, if the question is whether Israel has a right to defend itself, the answer is of course. And if the idea is that somehow I'm asking Israeli soldiers to die, Israel is quite unified in its goal. So I'm not sure exactly who he's talking about. The sort of chicken hawk argument simply would not even apply under these circumstances. As far as war, I think that every single conflict the United States should get in, I'm an American citizen, I'm an American. Every conflict the United States gets in we ought to be asking, what is the actual American goal? What is the actual American interest, which is for one reason why I didn't support the war in Libya during the Obama administration. It's why I was very skeptical of American interventionism, whether covert or overt, during the Arab Spring. I thought that was going to end quite poorly. So, again, I think that that's inaccurate, but it's Andrew Tate, so I'm not supremely surprised by that. I'm not sure, exactly what his level of knowledge is on foreign policy issues other than sort of the braggadocio.
And his thing that he's a big guy, tough guy, and you've got small man syndrome?
I'm not sure what to make of that. I mean, I guess that, if your version of manhood is walking around shirtless, smoking cigars in Romania, then I guess you can have that. That's okay. I mean, sure. My version of masculinity is a little bit different. It's, being married with 4 children and raising a family in a solid community, but I guess to each his own.
I want to say that Ben Shapiro is not a short man or a little man. He's a big man. And I think he's doing what we call a Kiddush Hashem, a sanctification of God's name. I think that he's a Jewish hero, and I think he's an American hero. And I think that he's a hero for morality in the world in general.
Do you think Andrew Tate is a good influence on young men in particular around the world? He seems to have a very big one. Is it a good one?
I think that Andrew Tate says, as I've said on your show before, I think that his diagnosis of some problems is correct. I think that his actual prognosis and recommendations for solving those problems is more frequently than not deeply incorrect.